I just got through doing my usual morning workout, and I came back, and I had ended up getting a notification on my phone, and it was from Taurine Rain. Shout out to Taurine Rain, man. I support his work as well as he support mine. And it was on the human baboon that you see in the picture here. And anybody that know me well, or any of my subs that know me, know I hate, and I mean in capital letters, HATE, hate Stephen Asinine Smith. He is the epitome of a Super Saiyan coon. I know that title used to belong to Sheriff David Duke Clark, but I call him a mega coon, so that's bigger. But this motherfucker, I swear, he's the type of bitch ass motherfucker that I just love to run up on him, and I just like to give him the motherfucking sledgehammers right across his face, straight up. This man cannot, and I repeat, cannot go ahead, and he cannot keep Colin Kaepernick's name out of his goddamn mouth. It's even surprising to me that he's even got a wife or whatever like that, and I'm pretty sure she's probably tired of him. She probably got a side piece and all that stuff. That's probably a better male than he is. But it's not about that. I take pot shots at his little marital status, whatever that may be, later. But as of recent, I watched Taurine Rain's video, and it just kind of reminded me, because I knew about the story about, he said some disparaging things about Michael Bennett, defensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks, because as I stated in my last video, that the Seattle Seahawks had reached out to Colin Kaepernick, and and he may end up be wearing the blue, white, and green. Michael Bennett, as we well know, has been the main lobbyist for Kaepernick to come over there to the Pacific Northwest. And let me just get my thoughts here straight for a second. And he's always stood behind Colin Kaepernick, as well as his brother Martellus Bennett, who now play for the Green Bay Packers after winning the Super Bowl with the Patriots. Anyway, this jackass right here had came on TV, and the disparaging comments that he made, this Bart Simpson looking motherfucker came on here and said the disparaging comments on about Michael Bennett and Colin Kaepernick, which I felt that, if he got something to say to the man, it should have been done in private. But instead, he does what he do. Go on his damn platform, because he got security over there, and does what he do best. Talk shit. So, let me just let y'all go ahead and hear it, and I'm going to come back with my commentary.
Americans who no doubt abhor the candid, occasional controversial comments that come out of the mouths of the modern day athlete. I almost never have a problem with Michael Bennett. Quite frankly, he's usually smart, incisive, conscientious, and most importantly, fearless. So with that in mind, Mr. Bennett will have to forgive me for asking him this simple question. What in the hell has happened to you? In case you missed it, Bennett is coming to the defense of Colin Kaepernick these days. He's proud that Kaepernick has dedicated his life to, quote-unquote, creating change. That Kaepernick has stood in the eye of the storm, standing firm in the face of death threats and other forms of vitriol. Bennett even explained further why he'd love to have Kaepernick as a teammate in Seattle, because the Seahawks coach Pete Carroll, teammates who give back to the community, and Russell Wilson, who's, quote, built around community, end quote. Yet he conveniently left out Kaepernick's refusal to vote and his irresponsible stance in choosing to publicize that reality. To me, that's shocking, specifically because the usual conscientious Bennett failed to take that into consideration. If Bennett or any any other black athlete for that matter, is going to be quick to point out everyone from Malcolm X to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the sacrifices they've made towards civil rights. Perhaps it's time to remember the 3 civil rights workers, Andrew Goodman, Mickey Schwerner, and James Chaney, murdered in June of 1964 in Mississippi, trying to get African Americans in the South registered to vote. They are dead. They sacrificed their lives. So many others have shed real blood, real sweat, real tears. And it damn sure wasn't while they're in the midst of making $12 million in a season. And by the way, unlike Kaepernick, who's still looking for a job these days, those individuals are not alive to modify their positions. So go ahead and root for Kaepernick to get a job. Get him to Seattle, Michael Bennett. Remind the world he's truly a talent any NFL team should consider. But if you're going to delve further and try to treat him like he's some kind of martyr, do me a favor. Remember the real ones that represented first, not just the ones you happen to be pretty damn cool with.
All right.
Do you think this fight is being overhyped?
Sorry about that. That was some straight up sucker shit, as we call it down here in Miami, preferably here in Liberty City. That's some straight up sucker shit. That's some straight up fuckboy shit. Stephen A. Smith has always been a fuckboy to me, and anybody that supported Stephen A. Smith, they're a fuckboy too. I'm just gonna let it out right here, because I'm getting so sick and so goddamn tired of this quarter fro, hairline pushed all the way back to Kansas City, some bitch just want to talk that noise like Charles Barkley, want to talk all that noise, but can't even back up nothing they say. You know, he's saying that he's not going to apologize for the comments he made to Michael Bennett. Oh, you don't want to apologize to that? Well, I dug up into my thing, and people, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jar this asshole's memory real fast. And any Stephen A. Smith supporter, sorry about that. ESPN supporter. Hold on 1 second. Just hold on 1 second, people. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I just looked for it. I just had pulled it up. You know, I suppose, to my subs and everybody, y'all remember this?
Good morning. On Friday, speaking right here on First Take on the subject of domestic violence, I made what can only amount to the most egregious error of my career. While elaborating on thoughts concerning the NFL's ruling versus Ray Rice, following a domestic dispute with his then fiancée, I ventured beyond the scope of our discussion by alluding to a woman's role in such heinous matters, going so far as to use the word provoke in my diatribe. My words came across that it is somehow a woman's fault. This was not my intent. It is not what I was trying to say. Yet the failure to clearly articulate something different lies squarely on my shoulders. To say what I actually said was foolish is an understatement. To say I was wrong is obvious. To apologize, to say I'm sorry, doesn't do the matter its proper justice, to be quite honest. But I do sincerely apologize. As a man raised by the greatest mother in the world and 4 older sisters, I've religiously spoken out against domestic violence all of my life. I've done so repeatedly over 20 years in this business, as well as over these very airwaves right here on First Take. My primary reason for doing so is because I've experienced and dealt with the matter within my own family. Unfortunately, I did an incredibly poor job of asserting my point of view this past Friday. For that, again, I am truly, truly sorry. Particularly the victims of domestic abuse, and to my female family members and loved ones I've disappointed and who know I know better. You all deserved a better professional, and quite frankly, a better man last Friday sitting on this very set. this very chair my heartfelt apologies to each and every single one of
you. Yeah, remember that? You had no problem. He had no problem going ahead and putting on them goddamn tap dancing shoes and apologizing about doing it with Michelle Beadle, who went on Twitter and tweeted about that, which basically violated ESPN protocol, who should have been fired, that led to his suspension. Oh, but how quickly we forget. But anyway, you know, he didn't come and apologize to Michael Bennett. And this thing about with Colin Kaepernick, he's still stuck on stupid with that because Kaepernick refused to vote. Well, it's his choice. Many of our people sat this presidential election out, myself included, because you got hashtag dope45 and hashtag Billary. Neither one of them wouldn't do a benefit for neither one of us. And y'all done had people come to me talking about saying, well, you know, it's called voting for the list of the two evils. And both of them evil to the core. So, look here. As Tariq Nasheed has said, and I have said to my constituents and associates here in Miami, don't vote. Sit this one out. Sit it out. When I vote, I focus on local elections. Now, he brought up Malcolm X's name. First thing first, let me just get something out the way. Happy birthday to El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, otherwise known as the late great Malcolm X. I know he is at one with the universe, so happy belated birthday to him. Happy birthday to him. Sorry about that, not belated. You know. And he had the nerve to use Malcolm X and Martin Luther King as examples. Well, as I do my research like I always do, Malcolm X didn't vote. Muhammad Ali didn't vote. May he rise in power. And then bring up the 3 civil rights workers as them being martyrs. Notice how he mentioned Mickey Schwerner, white boy being of Jewish religion, Andrew Goodman, and James Chaney. You know, notice he mentioned Schwerner first. Gee, I wonder why. You know, you shouldn't even be mentioning the same breath as that. But anyway, the issue like that with the thing with Michael Bennett, I don't know what his problem is he has with Colin Kaepernick. And it's really starting to get to the point where it's pissing me off. He cannot keep this man's name out of his mouth. I mean, it's like he's got a freaking hard-on for him. I just don't get it. I really don't. You know, and Colin Kaepernick is still out here despite him being unemployed at the moment, but he's still getting out here. He's out here putting in work. He's still putting in work with his Know Your Rights camps and still doing all what he need to do. Because, you know, I told y'all about him. He's got a Know Your Rights camp open up in Chicago where Kerry Hilson and Carmen all came out in support of him. And in fact, like I said, myself, Torian Rain, 93 Sports News, Ticket TV, Town Biz, 1LVZ, Santee Walden, Chris Miller, Mr. Superboy 223, The Advice Show, Cynthia G, all of us, Herb Griffin, all of us overwhelmingly support Kaepernick. But let me go to the comment, and Michael, as well as Michael Bennett. And speaking of Michael Bennett, let me go to the article right now coming from Sporting News, is where he addresses Stephen A. Smith. Let me just go right here. Michael Bennett tells ESPN's Stephen A. Smith he's all talk and no action on social issues, which is true. Fact. Seahawks defensive lineman Michael Bennett took his back and forth with ESPN talker Stephen A. Smith to the next level on social media Thursday. Bennett posted a harsh message to Smith as he defended his community work and social justice stances, which includes supporting free agent quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Smith on Wednesday bashed Bennett for being pro-Cap and for overlooking Kaepernick's decision not to vote in the 2016 general election, saying Bennett should think about those who died fighting to give African Americans voting rights. Shut the fuck up. Now, Bennett says Smith's barbs were weak and that Smith should have spoken with him directly. Agreed. Smith dismissed that argument Thursday, which led to Bennett's latest statement. And let me just read it to you right here. You know, despite your words, I want this interaction to be positive. We can agree on one thing. Voting is important, and I never said it wasn't. But it's so easy to talk on television and not get your hands dirty and do the real work. It's so easy to divide people by playing on fears and lies instead of trying to highlight the hard work that athletes do in the community. I know by responding to you, I'm just making your job easier by giving you something else to yell about tomorrow. But you are spreading so much ignorance that it's hard to be silent. You tell us we don't know anything, but we stand alongside people who have dedicated their lives to try and make change. We're stepping out on our platforms to make a real substantial impact while you play the clown. Agreed. You say we don't know anything, yet we're the ones sitting down and talking with Angela Davis, John Carlos, and community activists you don't even know. These are people whose respect we care about a great deal more than someone who gets paid just to be loud. Agreed again. I have spent countless hours in minority communities from orphanages in Haiti to juvenile detention centers in this country, building community gardens so our young people living in food deserts without anywhere to buy food other than a corner store have better nutrition. Please be a better person, other than someone who is just all talk and no action. So I encourage you to join me in person and checkbook and help build our communities. Now that's from Michael Bennett's Twitter page, you know, at MosesBread72. So now we await the next spin cycle. Smith's response to Bennett. Well, let me save y'all the drama. He is not going to respond. You know, he's not going to respond because Stephen A. Smith is a coward. Always has been, always will be. Because reason why, ask him about that time when Big Dog Glenn Robinson was going to whoop his ass. Yeah, he ain't talking about that. Well, see, Colin Kaepernick got more better things to do with his time by not responding to this idiot. And he's doing it with sophistication and he's doing it with class. And like I said, you know, he's still putting in work with his Know Your Rights camps. As you can see, this with him and Common, they opened up one in Chicago. You know, so I'm waiting for him to come down to South Florida so we can get things moving here like we always been doing. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned with sucker ass Smith, yeah, because he's on some sucker shit right now. This man has never done anything to you. Let me just bring up something like this. You know, reason why Stephen A. Smith is so bitter and got this chip on his shoulder. 20 years ago, he played college ball. As you can see, like, he almost had a damn unibrow before Anthony Davis. Shout out to Anthony Davis. New Orleans Pelicans, you know, before he messed his knee up. That's why he's so bitter. That's why he's always being such an asinine ass clown. You know, as Willie D would put it. You got a chip on your shoulder because your ball game sucks, but you got to work with athletes that your wife want to fuck. Facts. Goddamn Bart Simpson, Mr. Planner Peanut Head motherfucker. Can't stand this son of a bitch. You know. He's the type of motherfucker, like I say, you just want to run up to him and just beat the dog shit out of him. Fucking sloped ass forehead. I could get on my bike and jump ramps off of that motherfucker. Shit. You know, like I said, Colin Kaepernick hasn't done nothing to this man. But for some odd reason, for some misogynistic reason, he got such a freaking... Ooh, I can't even use the word right now, though. But I'm never the one to have no filter or have no chill. So let me just say, he got some type of sick-ass hard-on for Colin Kaepernick in a sick, psychotic way. But see, that's what you do when you coon. You know, that's what you do when you coon. And Stephen A. Smith, man, you know, that's what he do. There ain't even no words to even describe this fuck nigga. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm gonna use the N-word and stuff on there like that. Because he is so ignorant how he gets out here, and which is one of the reasons I don't even watch ESPN. They show it a lot of times when I be at my place of business on the TV. I see a glimpse of it. I see that shit come on. I keep it moving. Because I ain't got time for that television. You know. Same thing, I don't got time, like with Colin Cowherd and all that. And, you know. But like I say, I still go ahead and support Colin Kaepernick. And for him to go ahead and use Malcolm X and Martin Luther King as examples who died for this like that. And I just told y'all, Malcolm X never voted. Muhammad Ali never voted. King knew what was up till later on, till Messy Jesse Jackson set him up to get killed. Knew what was up when it come down to that. And I've always stated, a presidential election don't mean shit. You vote locally, that's where you make your impact at. Because I was one of the ones that didn't vote in the general election, because I said, like, who the hell you got? And he wants to hold that on account of it like that. I don't see Stephen A. Smith doing no work, community work. I don't see him up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? As Jason Black often said, man, his hood pass has been totally revoked. He can stay his ass over there with the coon. See what I'm saying? Because if Skip Bayless left your ass and said he couldn't stand you, you know something wrong. This man got issues, man. This sick ass man crush he got on Kaepernick is just totally ridiculous. And that's exactly what it is. It's a man crush. Because like, oh, well, Kaepernick didn't vote. And I'm not going to apologize to Michael Bennett for what I said. I said what I said. But you was ready and quick to apologize to after Michelle Beadle nearly cost you your job, because he know if this happens again, he's out of there. Because the way how ESPN cleaning the house over there, you know. So now he got to go full in the coon now just to stay to where the fuck he's at. And as far as I'm concerned with Stephen A. Smith, Michael Bennett, Colin Kaepernick, man, look here. We support you no matter what. We with you, we ride with you, just like I ride with LeVar Ball. Stephen A. Smith, man, you can eat a dick as far as I'm concerned. Bitch.